So a lot of people think that the first witch trials in America occurred in Salem, Massachusetts, which occurred around 1692, 1693, and this is not the case. Predating the Salem witch trials by 30 years or more were the Hartford witch trials or the Connecticut witch trials, which occurred in 1647 until 1663. But what a lot of people don't realize or even understand is that the first witch trials in the Americas occurred in Puerto Rico in the 1500s. Now, this, of course, is excluding the atrocities that happened to the Native Americans and to the indigenous people of the Caribbean and Latin America, who often were persecuted and lost their lives for practicing traditional spirituality and religions of their cultures. The first documented quemadas occurred in Old San Juan, Puerto Rico in the year 1532. In a location known as El Charco de las Brujas, or the Witch's Puddle. Those that were accused, tried, and convicted were made to walk through the streets of Old San Juan, Viejo San Juan, to El Charco de las Brujas, where they met their fate. Two cases that are still remembered is the case of 1594 of a group of brujos and brujas of African descent who were slaves. It is documented that these brujos and brujas engaged with the devil through the offering or the sacrifice of a black goat, dancing, and African drumming. But what is clear today is that these African brujos and brujas, or slaves, were engaging in traditional African worship to the Orisha Chango. In 1608, an African slave had a tutelary spirit within her stomach she called her mayorazgo. This spirit was known as Pedro Lorenzo. This woman was tried, and luckily she was exorcised by the Catholic Church. Most people who were convicted of brujeria were burnt and then later hung. Las quemadas de brujas occurred in Puerto Rico for a span of over 350 years. Although the Spanish Queen Maria Cristina de Borbon issued a decree abolishing the Spanish Inquisition in July 15, 1834, historical records indicate that the last witch trials in Puerto Rico were in the 1860s. Now, the accused were not only of African descent, also people of Spanish descent were accused. Many times it were people in the clergy who were accused and prosecuted for practicing heresy against the Catholic faith.